guys, welcome to Office Blokes Reacts. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
And collectively we are the 10,000th biggest YouTube channel in the UK.
That's not bad considering Disney's number one.
Yeah, only been going 6 months, so another 6 months we'll be at least top 10, won't we?
Must be.
Top 3.
Top 3, yeah.
1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also have the ranked probably 200,000th Patreon. Don't we,
We
Mike?
do. I think we have, yeah. Yeah, have a look at patreon.com, put in Office Blokes Reacts. Yeah, go and check it out and see what you think.
Yeah, and we're on another channel as well, which could be
Office Blokes Try. Get over there, like and subscribe.
Do it.
And content coming very, 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 very soon. It's on the way.
Waiting for some deliveries, aren't we? And then we're
special delivery,
We're gone.
Start getting some stuff out. So, visit America, the do's and don'ts of visiting the USA. You've lived there.
Yeah.
In a couple of states, haven't you? You lived in Texas. And
3 states. New York, New Jersey.
New York, New Jersey and
Texas.
Mm-hmm. So I guess you're going to know this or maybe disagree with quite a lot because it's going to be subjective, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Yeah, sure.
Like if this guy's from the South, maybe it's different to etiquette in the North or whatever.
Yeah. I found living in America was just very easy going. It was just dead simple.
Yeah.
No dramas, no issues.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Never had any issues whatsoever.
Good.
That's what I like to hear.
Have you ever been, Mike?
I've never been. No, I've not.
I've said before.
You ever been that simply?
I've been into Altrincham, but not too far.
Yeah, and I've only done Vegas, so again, that's like
Does
going
not
to
count
Disneyland, isn't it?
When I relocated from New Jersey to Houston, I drove.
Right.
So it just took me time and took like 2 weeks to get down there, and just stopped off loads of different places.
Yeah. Nice.
Idea. Yeah,
So,
great idea.
A couple of days here, a day there. Come
Yeah.
back on myself, went across a little bit, and just like zigzagged all the way down.
Yeah,
I know
why
my
not?
mum's done that a couple of times. She's just flown over there, rented a car for a month, and then they just drive across country.
Yeah, stop at different places.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
great way to discover a
Of course
country, though, isn't it? Just get in a car and go and drive. Big country, though, so
Yeah, massive.
a lot of driving. I've been to Disneyland Paris, by the way, so I don't know if that counts. That's
Not
nearly
America.
I thought you were banned from Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, so it's full of French people, that's the
Get to sign
problem.
the register.
We'll get into it.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in the U.S. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S. because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans. Look, Americans really like their personal space.
How's that going to work if I'm on Tinder in America, though?
It'd be a
I don't
struggle.
get that. Don't touch the American. Who's going to walk around and fucking start touching someone? If someone touches me,
I think what he's getting at is going to be a generalisation about Europeans
distance.
being touchy-feely.
I thought they were a bit more like I thought that Americans were a bit more like that. Like high fives and hugs and stuff like that. And
I think it's a very...
Well, I thought they did.
It's a very
But,
English thing to want your personal space, I always think.
That's what I was thinking.
Especially out of Europe, we're the ones where it's like, why are you standing there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
when I lived in the Middle East, first time I used an ATM, or was at an ATM, and it was not the first time I've used one, but put my card in. Like, there was a guy stood right next to me with his hand on top of the machine, looking over my shoulder like that, and I turned around. It was like they're all Asian, like Indian and Pakistani. Stood right about this far behind me. I'm like, will you fucking move? There's a bit of space. They're all just staring at me like that. I was the one doing something wrong.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's like they have a bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, be like, Mark, how's it going, all this stuff, and my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places. Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, and middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a heads up for that.
That's the same as England so far, I think. Keep away from us, don't touch me, and the trams are crap.
And
the
public
trains never turn
terrible.
up.
Public transport over here is quite good.
How often do you get on it?
Never.
Yeah.
I've had Sundays where I've been in a pub all day with my bro and my dad, and obviously like I live about 13 miles away, but there's a train right near
Farmland.
the pub. Kind of, it's getting out there, but there's a the Alty train station is near where we're drinking. The other train station is near where I live. The last train's at 9:30 at night, so I get there for 9:20. Loads of people waiting on the platform, cancelled. No bus service, nothing. So you're just there going, so what do I do?
They have to put a bus service on if these trains cancel.
They're supposed to, but when it's 9:30 at night... and
Just get a fucking taxi, man.
Yeah.
Well, I've done it. That's happened to me a few times, but when you're pissed up on your own, going because everyone else that's going to be on the same train, I always presume they're going the same way. So I chat to everyone and say, who wants to share a taxi? Rather than 5 taxis, let's see if we can do a taxi like a bus service. But I can sort of articulate that now when I'm sober, but when I'm pissed, I'm like,
a bit more difficult.
fucking taxi.
I think the tram's over here. I think the trams
Trams are
pretty
good,
good
actually,
in general.
yeah.
You do have a few breakdowns, but I think the trains are the ones that get it in the neck most for unreliability and everything, aren't they?
Because they're old.
This is just like the UK
absolutely.
though so far.
I know. Yeah.
I'd say this for us.
And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, it's continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from I'm going to do go to from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. I meet a lot of travelers that are like, I'm going to fly into New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to L.A. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the southeast, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home just for lunch. 6 hours in the car. No big deal. It's about 7 hours when we start to think, that kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through, okay? Now, my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the U.S., we have sales tax. I know other countries, they have VAT, value add.
That got me. They do it in Canada as well, don't they? Where you look at the price on the tag and
then
then
you have the tax.
Yeah, there's more to it.
What on what? Anything like
so that like the price on the sticker on a piece on something you buy in is like pre-VAT or their equivalent of VAT.
like anything like clothes or
I think anything,
like
isn't it?
Just pretty much anything. All right.
Yeah, so they calculate the tax at the till when they scan it.
Yeah,
I guess, or they've got another price for it. So if something's a tenner on the tag, it might cost you $12.
So is it different rates of tax or something for everything?
I don't know.
Is that why they do it? Or
I think sales tax is one set rate.
It's
like
just
VAT.
It's just baffling why they do it that way, though.
Just put one price.
Yeah, I want to know what I'm going to pay.
Bizarre.
Taxes, there are.
It's not hard to calculate, though, is it? If you know it's like, I don't know what it is, let's say it's 8%, you'll know what 8% is.
You can have a good idea, can't you? But it just seems a bit bizarre that they don't just put the actual price with the tax included on it.
Well, if you work in business over here and you give a price, it's plus VAT. You don't give a price including VAT.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
You put into the price of products. So when you see, it's $1 or €1, I only pay €1. In the U.S., it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes, and some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're going to go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not going to be $1. Where I live,
that makes more sense now. I'm saying it's different in each state, and they do different ones for different products, and sometimes a different tax for the same product as well. So
it makes more sense why they do it, but it's still such a convoluted system, really. If you can't drive to another state and it'd be uniform.
Yeah.
there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's going to be $1.08. The other one, it's going to be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is don't forget to tip. Look, in the U.S., you tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place. But if it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come to the U.S., there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the U.S. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping, and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that. But they don't, okay? So tipping is something we do here in the U.S., so do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're going to want to tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink.
I did exactly that when I was in Vegas. You know, when you sat at a machine, they just bring you beer for free all night, and you just tip them like every time they come. But the machines... it's not money that you get paid out. You get a ticket that you've got to put in a machine to get your money.
Yeah.
So I had no money on me at that point. I had been all night the same person giving me beers. I was tipping them every time. And then the one time I didn't, and I was like, listen, I've got nothing, but next time you come back, I'll just give you double because I'll go to the thing. Because I was in the middle of playing a machine. Yeah. Never came back. Didn't get another drink. That was it. It was just like, and the way she looked at me as well. And I was like, I'm being genuine. I'll give you double next time. It's just, what do you want me to do?
I'm a big tipper.
That's your business.
When we go to football and we go into the corporate section, first thing I do, as soon as the kid comes over, the waiter, first thing as soon as I do, I give him money. And although it's all inclusive, I'm not paying for any drinks or anything. Make sure I give him money, and my glass never goes empty.
Yeah.
And then I sit him at the end of the night as well.
Yeah.
So I'll say to him, you look after me, I'll look after you.
Absolutely.
And I'm a big fan of it. Make sure you look after the bartenders and the waitresses and the waiters.
We don't have the same level of affordable restaurants in this country. I don't think where you get the service that you do get in a lot of American ones, because the wait staff in America are after tips. Because it's they need it, don't they?
The service levels in America are outstanding.
That's what I found.
Compared to what you get over here.
Yeah.
Over here, it's shite.
Yeah, you don't
for the most part.
I think that's why over here you probably might not tip, because because of the service. If it is terrible, you think, well,
I always tip in a restaurant unless I'm making a point of not doing because it was shit.
Yeah.
Then I won't.
If you're waiting ages and ages and ages for your food and stuff like that, then it's like, come on.
Yeah, well, I go back to the restaurants quite regular, so I'm definitely making sure I look after everybody. Yeah. If I have no intentions of ever going back because it was shit, then I'll leave it. I'll just walk out.
But if you're a regular, like I say, it's a self thing. You give them a good tip and that, then you get good service again, won't you? Suppose if they remember. So
well, a tip for a drink traditionally in this country, when you say take your own, is supposed to be 20p, isn't it?
Depends where you are.
Obviously, it depends where you are, but in a traditional pub, when you say take your own, that means 20p.
Because I've come back with I've gone to a bar in Manchester, and I've said take your own, and the guy's gone, nice one, and he actually took the price for a drink, but not just like a pint.
Yeah.
Took for like a
double gin and tonic or something.
Yeah. It's like more than what the round was. Yeah. I'm like, mate.
It happened to someone I know that he was just buying 1 pint of lager that was about £4, and he said take your own. And the guy bought himself a bottle of Newcastle Brown for about a £5.
That's taking a piss.
That was taking a piss big time.
That's naughty.
So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the U.S. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the U.S., the people actually are pretty nice, and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is, don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal. Okay. Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out. All right, you actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the U.S. If you're smoking cigarettes in the U.S., people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally verboten, like people really...
I'm not sure about that because we've done a bit of Dave Chappelle's stand-up and I've seen him on podcasts where people have talked about the fact that he smokes on stage all the time. So that I think that's going to be a subjective thing.
Stand-up smokes on stage as well. Yeah.
It's going to be like, I think a lot...
I'm not sure he's right with that neither.
A lot of Americans smoke.
Yeah.
But it's the same here. It's dying out smoking. It's not as popular as it used to be, but people still smoke, don't they?
Still do, yeah. Not obviously you can't in bars or anything, can you?
I've never smoked, so I don't know what.
Is it not banned in bars over there?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's pretty much global that now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Let us know in the comments about that one.
Upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much. But cigarettes. Oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that have smoke-free. It's smoke-free. So you got to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things. So that can be something. So I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't. And that is don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21 or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over.
Fuck out of here. Everyone buys it.
Started
telling that to a 20-year-old kid.
Started drinking at 13 in this country.
Same. I was at my brother's wedding and got shit-faced. I was about 10 or 11. I think. Yeah.
Used to just try and get some like a couple of quid together and send someone into the shop to get a big bottle of cider.
It still happens now. If you go to the beer shop, sometimes over here, his kids stood outside and they say, "Excuse me, can you get us a?"
Oh, you can't. Yeah.
Will you go in for me? Yeah. That's what it is. You go in for me, mate.
Just grab us something while you're in there.
In the U.S. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that. And don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they could get in trouble and get fined. So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, tried to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad.
Who's his friends?
I know.
That don't look old enough.
To be fair, last time I was in Canada, I was probably 25, I think 26, and I got ID'd with a meal, and I was like, what are you talking? I think it's 18 in Canada to drink. I was like, of course I'm over 18, but their policy was like challenge 30. You know, we have like challenge 25 in this country or whatever it is. So I was like, I had my ID on me, so it's not a problem. But
I want to know who his friends are who've been ID'd.
I know, who's hanging around with.
And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID if they want to buy liquor, or they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that one. Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that. And I'll put a conversion.
That's fine.
Just to confuse it even more, though, American gallon isn't the same as an English gallon.
No, that's right.
Because ours is about 4.5 litres, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why can't we just all do it one way?
We can sort of handle that, though, can't we? Gallons, feet, yards, pounds, ounces.
It's like driving on the right and left, though, isn't it? We drive on the left. They drive on the right. They tried it in Ireland to switch it over, because Ireland drive on the left.
People kept crashing.
So, Ireland driving on the left. So they said, we're going to switch it to driving on the left. They drive on the right. We're going to switch it to driving on the left. So when they switched it, they said we're going to start with cars and buses first. And if that works, and the trucks and
terrible.
Sorry if you're Irish.
Set a few people with that.
Right here to show you, but honestly, you may say, "Hey, how far is it to this next town?" And they'll tell you, "Oh, it's like 60 miles." You're like, "What's that?" Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay? So just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much here. So our next don't is when you do come to the U.S., there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics, because no matter where you are, you will get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics, talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would
right up our street.
I hate that sort of conversation now. Hey, isn't it a great day today? Like, I want to talk about real stuff with people.
I don't want to talk about politics or fucking gun control. It's boring.
I know nothing about politics, but guns obviously interest me because it's something I grew up with in this country. But I can see what he means, because it's that polarising. You just want to avoid the polarising topic.
Yeah, it just ends up in an argument. But the weather, I mean, we're famous for it, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, British people talk about the weather constantly, don't we?
Too much.
Too much, yeah. Probably, yeah.
much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now. Now, my next note for you is don't assume that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the U.S. has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too, not just fat guys like me and my buddy Jeff. There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland, or going to San Francisco, or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't assume there's no culture in the U.S. because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston, here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different culture here. Historic culture with the Native Americans or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's...
That's a Van Gogh painting, though.
No.
Isn't it?
No, it's
It's Dutch.
Who did Scream? The Scream painting, same job.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I think so. Enough. Looks like Van Gogh when he had his syphilis and he went a bit weird.
No culture in the U.S. It's not really true because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in L.A. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the U.S., it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say this, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying how are you. Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France, ça va, ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good. You answer back, tudo bem, everything good. It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an actual question, all right?
We've got that down to an art in this country. You just go, all right, all right, all right,
all right,
all right, all right, all right.
How's it going?
Just slight different inflection depending on what's happening. Someone's on the floor, all right. Walk past someone, all right.
I was in my lobby the other day coming out of the lift and I said something. I said, you okay? He just stared at me and walked off. I just went, I'd say that as a yes.
See, I think you're okay. It's patronising. You okay? That's like if someone's struggling. You know, if someone was like trying to get something heavy through a door, you'd be like, you okay? And then you help them.
Yeah.
Was it
just with COVID and everything going on, I was making sure they're okay. I was being sincere.
Oh, so you're genuinely asking if someone's okay?
Fair enough.
Just stared at me and just
just kicked him.
Okay. Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no. For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So stay at the hotels in the U.S., and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice, so don't expect that from the fancy hotels. Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut. We've been having lobster and clams and, oh my God, New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like, more. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my God. The food in the different regions in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants, so you can go there and check out those places, because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants, because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out, and that is really kind of a cool thing. Now my next don't for you is,
that's lots of the places that probably aren't going to be around post-COVID, isn't it, as well? That's the sad thing. You know, like the little mom and pop
small ones and the independent ones and that. Yeah,
same with this country, isn't it? Pubs and restaurants and bars.
Tough. Yeah,
they've had a lot of support over here, though. I'm not sure they've had the same kind of support
no,
in America.
They definitely haven't. They definitely haven't. I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it a lot.
I've got a few mates who've got restaurants in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
So I don't know how they're doing.
Have they done like a furlough scheme over there?
I don't think so.
No. I think
they give some money, but it wasn't a lot.
Stimulus check, wasn't there, of $1,200 or something, and then I think there's I think there was a fund that businesses can apply for. But I think it was kind of sporadic, you know, not all businesses are eligible and stuff.
And that furlough scheme ends here, though, it's fucked.
Yeah.
End of April, I think, and it's earmarked for, but
it'd
be tough.
I mean, American food, Tex-Mex is by far my favourite food in this country, and I'm sure it's nothing compared to the real deal when you're over there. It's just like our imitation of it. But,
It's, I mean, the food in America, for me, is probably the best in the world. Got all the different cuisines. I mean, I know you're going to get Indian food and Chinese and whatever, you get different cuisines, but in America, it's just I don't know, it's just the way it's presented, the way it's given, the way it's served, the way it's low. I mean, you go to some of the restaurants and you go TGI Fridays, for example, over here. I know it's a chain and all that, I'm using that as an example, and you get the chicken wings in a basket. Probably get about 4 and look like they're off a fucking sparrow. You know what I mean, like tiny. It looks like someone's ate them already, and then they give you the rest. You go over there and you get like a basket full. You know, it's proper.
Get proper portion.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Is Indian food as widely consumed in America?
Not really. Not where not when not the areas I've been to.
Right.
We used to go certain days when all the restaurants were packed on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
Yeah.
We used to go to the Indian straight in. You straight sat down.
Right.
You know, sometimes we're the only ones in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because we eat a lot of Indian food in this country, don't we?
A lot of Indian Chinese. There's always an Indian and Chinese takeaway wherever you go, isn't there?
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Don't get sick. Look. Healthcare in the U.S. is insanely expensive, and just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill, all right? So if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance, so in case you do get sick or you do break an ankle or you do break an arm or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back, because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive, okay? So make sure you're prepared for that. And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look, don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52.
There's the movie The 51st State.
Puerto Rico.
No, it's Samuel L. Jackson comes over here and he calls Britain the 51st state. That's the premise of the movie.
Yeah. Right.
It's got Robert Carlyle in it and stuff. It's a great movie if you've not seen it, 51st State. But so I knew there was 50 states just because he was taking the piss out of England calling it the 51st.
I think Puerto Rico, isn't it? Is that what he's referring to as being one of them? And I don't know where the other one would be.
No, not sure.
No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So, those are our don'ts for visiting the U.S. What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there to help out travelers heading to the U.S., just so we can get things going. Anyway, if you like videos like this, we have stuff on what the don'ts of going to Russia, the don'ts of going to Germany, the don'ts of going to Brazil and things like that. And we really like helping travelers with honest travel advice. So, if you like this video, do click that subscribe button. It means a lot to us, and we put new travel videos out every Wednesday and Saturday to help great travelers just like you. So I'll say bye from Connecticut and have a great time in the U.S. because don't worry, you will. It's a fantastic place.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Very informative.
Well, so what are the don'ts for visiting the UK?
I was just going to say that. We've got to watch that one.
Don't be a dick.
There's loads of dicks in the UK. There is everywhere in the world.
Listen, don't matter where you go.
Yeah, don't expect good service.
Don't expect good service. Yeah, for sure.
Actually,
bring your waterproofs.
Don't assume that the beer is warm, because that's
point,
a proper
actually.
misconception.
Yeah.
I think that's based off the like the Belgian beers that you might not have refrigerated.
Yeah.
You do have them
based on
room
bitter.
temperature.
It's based on bitter, I found. That
Yeah,
when
also
people
it's
say,
all
you
the-
drink your beer warm. People used to say to me all the time, you drink your beer warm. I said, we don't. We drink bitter at room temperature. Or
But your real
not
ales
ice
and
cold.
stuff,
Yeah,
are they,
they're not ice cold, are they? You don't
Yeah,
get
no,
real
they're
ales
not
ice cold.
but I still think they're.
But when you go
cooler,
to America,
aren't
if
they?
you go in a bar in America, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to get a frozen mug. So if you ask for a beer,
Yeah.
they'll take it out of the freezer. It's been wet, put in the freezers. When it comes out, it's ice cold, and then they pour the beer into the mug.
Yeah.
And it's ice cold.
That's all you want
You
to
know, yeah.
But then you can't drink it as fast.
Of course you can.
Soon warms up.
And it's warm outside.
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
So what else is a don't for the UK then?
Don't drive on the right.
Don't drive on the right.
I always use the thing saying left is right, right is wrong.
Or lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Left is right, right is wrong. Isn't it? For driving over here.
Yeah.
And don't assume you're going to get an automatic car. It's going to be a stick shift.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Everyone drives manual, don't they?
Yeah.
It's,
I don't. Mine's not manual.
But you
automatic.
drive manual, but you've got an automatic car.
Yeah, I can drive a manual, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. To be fair,
yeah, we'd have to go through that, won't we? Make a list.
I think we're pretty friendly in this country as well.
I think
to be
pretty much
fair.
so.
I don't think there's no hard. Don't come here and do this.
Don't go to the south.
Just it's
Stay north.
people get friendlier.
North of Stoke.
Yeah.
Stoke gets a bad rap for me, doesn't it?
I know,
It does, yeah.
They'll be on to you
Good.
again.
And the
Threw
south
stones at me
does.
once.
The whole south does, to be fair.
Yeah.
There's nothing good in the south, really, is there?
Cornwall, but that doesn't count as southern England. I don't think.
No.
Nah, that's
That's
London.
South
Southwest,
London.
that's different.
London's just London, it's shit.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's good.
Don't expect really good food for Weatherspoons or
not there.
Breakfasts are okay.
I do eat in Weatherspoons,
Yeah.
or I did before all this, but you've just got to set your expectations. It's cheap and cheerful. That's the whole point of it.
Get what you pay
The
for,
service
don't
is
you?
crap. They'll throw a plate on the table in front of you. They'll get it wrong. It's
Yeah.
cheap and cheerful, though.
Yeah, and don't expect
Exactly.
good manners always.
True.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean we don't like you just because we're rude to you.
Yeah, don't use the trains. Terrible.
No one's going to want to go. We'd be a shit tourist board, wouldn't we?
We're not doing very well here, are we? We better think of some
Visit
positive
Britain.
things. Come to Manchester.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
I do want to see more of the US, though. Definitely, that's on my list.
As soon as lockdown's
There's a
over,
lot to see,
as soon
isn't
as COVID's over and lockdown's
You're away.
free to go, first place I'm going.
Yeah.
US.
Nice.
To the US. Couple of weeks over there.
While you're there, assume that there's 52 states.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit how many states there are. I'll go where I'm going, and that's where
Can
I'll
you
go.
imagine an English guy in a bar sat next to an American guy going, so tell me about your 52 states, please. No one's ever going to bring that up in conversation.
It would never occur to you, would it, that? But anyway.
I wouldn't even get any conversation. I'll talk sport, and that's it.
Yeah.
Sport, beer, and strip clubs.
I'm just going to talk. I'm going to talk guns and politics with him. That's all I'm going to do. So what are you carrying?
a bag.
I know I'd rather go into a bar with anyway in America.
Just walk in and go, so who did everyone vote for?
Anyway,
that was interesting.
good.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Really
Something
good.
different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I hope you guys liked it too. Tell us what your do's and don'ts are. Ask us questions about the UK and we'll tell you if it's a do or a
sure.
don't.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.